This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV on Hearn Island in Miami here. Eduardinho.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. So well done.
No, do you know what? I'll actually cut that out.
Leave it.
No,
It's very
people ruin us that. No, I can't say it.
No. That's fine. We don't cut interviews. We're not going down that road. I am the only promoter that doesn't cut interviews, and it will remain that way. Thank you. Carry on. And if you want to cut and start again, I shall leave this chair and the interview will be over.
Edward, let's discuss your show tonight in London first. Giorgio Visioli, first headline show, little small kind of intimate show in London. Disappointed to not be there, first of all?
Yeah, always gutted. I mean, you know, look, I'm here for AJ's fight with Jake Paul, but I'm also missing the London show and Ghana on Saturday night as well, which is slightly more gutting, especially seeing the scenes there today from the face-offs. It looks absolutely wild. This show tonight was a show that was kind of put together out of our contract with the Zone, if that makes sense, because we've run out of shows, but we've got so many fighters that we needed to get out. So an additional show against the Head that we're putting on ourselves, really, obviously live on the Zone as well. And it's really important for a number of reasons. Giorgio Visioli steps up against Joe Howe. It's a really good fight, really good fight. John Hedges against Zorro, Layli Buttigieg, Taylor Bevan, of course, the pro debut of Conor Mitchell as well. That's the TV portion. And then before the bell as well, so much on there. Tia May Ayton, Adam Macker, Maisie Rose, so much on the card. And, you know, a real fun little night on a cheeky little Wednesday at the Indigo, completely sold out, which is great. And then obviously on to Ghana on Saturday and wedged in the middle Friday. It's probably the busiest week Matchroom Boxing I've ever had, and a very important one as well.
It's the first time you've ever done a show on a Wednesday?
It's a good question. One of your better questions. I would say yes.
Where does that come into the thinking? Was it just a scheduling issue, or was it something that you just wanted to try different?
No, just because the venue availability, I think, more than anything. Basically, we got to a stage. We don't let fighters down. And what I don't want to do as well is just like farm fighters out on another show that's not up to the standard of what we do, because I just don't think it's good for their brand. So basically what we wanted to do was create our own show. Now financially that don't look good because, as I said, you've done all your shows on the allocation for DAZN. So, you know, you're in a situation, but then when you sell out, for example, things start to look a little bit better. But yeah, it was just Wednesday night was available at the Indigo. We were, I think, probably scheduled to do a Friday or a Thursday. Wednesday it is. We've got a lot of big ticket sellers. It's completely sold out. And yeah, just making sure that we satisfy our contractual obligations, but beyond contracts, make sure we can develop the fighters in the right way. And on that card, there's so many fighters that have been so active. I mean, particularly Visioli, definitely Layli, Taylor Bevan, Tia, you know, all of these fighters, Adam Macker, they've been so active. And that's one of the blessings of being with Matchroom Boxing.
In terms of that show, you say, you know, fulfilling contractual obligations, do you, at this stage, you know, coming to the end of the DAZN deal, which you hope to renew, do you have to fulfill certain, was this a show that you had to get certain people out on?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a few we could have pushed into the new year, but that's not really the plan. And that's not really the promise that we gave them. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to have to say to a fighter, oh, sorry, I know you were scheduled to have one more this year, but you're now going in for January or February. Because obviously, when you're also training, no one really likes to train over Christmas. Tough shit. Like, if that's how your schedule falls, that's how your schedule falls. But there was a lot of fighters that needed one more fight. Like, if you look at the activity that we give fighters, they're fighting 5, 6, 7 times a year. And that's one of the blessings of being with Matchroom Boxing, because of the number of shows and the liquidity that we have. So we don't want to lose that. We don't want, you know, your word and your sort of bond and your promise to the fighter means everything. And that hearsay goes a long way. So what we don't want is, we don't want fighters, and I hear this all the time because they moan to me, oh, I was promised 4 fights, I was promised 6 fights in my first year, or 5 fights, I've only had 2, I've only had 3. And like, again, I don't want to just put a fighter on another show that's not ours, that's not on TV, that might not look that great, because it's like, it's bad for their brand and their image. So I wanted to create a Matchroom event, sold out, with all of our look and our feel, and also for DAZN subscribers, and obviously DAZN are over the moon because they're getting what is effectively a free show for them. And the subscribers get a little bit of Wednesday night action as all part of your subscription, baby.
Is that the benefit to you of being on DAZN and not on Sky, that you have the flexibility to do something like this where you can literally just put a show on a Wednesday night? You know, on Sky maybe you've got football, you've got rugby, different things.
Of course. I mean, that's the benefit of being with an OTT platform and a streaming platform where, you know, obviously there's multiple streams on the platform. You still don't want to, I mean, you know, you never want to clash. The clashing problem with DAZN for boxing is more the international shows, of which there are so many shows now live on DAZN. But one of the biggest benefits of being with DAZN is really the liquidity of shows. I think we're up to like 36 or 37 shows this year. I mean, you know, that in itself is just, we're in such a golden position. Right now, Matchroom are in the greatest position of any promotional company in the world. Like, we have, you know, a fantastic relationship and deal with DAZN. We're delivering over the odds. This year has been incredibly taxing for me, travel-wise, but that's the reason we're in the position that we're in. You don't just get in that position by not putting the work in. I've worked and knocked my absolute bollocks out this year. My absolute bollocks. Foot to the floor, tank on empty, week in, week out. And that hard work and that consistency has got us to where we are, which is entering 2026 in the strongest position of any promotional company in the world.
We'll get to that in a second because I do have a follow-up question. But you know, in terms of the DAZN deal, you're kind of at a point where you're going to renew. There's rumours online that DAZN won't renew with Golden Boy. Do you know anything about that?
No.
Do you think they should?
Yeah, look, I think the great thing about DAZN is the sort of collaboration of loads of different promoters. Oscar de la Hoya is a huge name. I think Oscar de la Hoya is a very good promoter. I mean, I know we've had our beef in the past, but I don't mind saying it. He's active. You know, a lot of promoters have fits and bursts. You know, they go missing for a couple of months, then they come back because they've got a big show, then they go missing again. This is 24/7 around the clock, and this is when I've spoke to the people. You know, and when I talk about TKO and stuff like this, it ain't a game that you can come in and out of. You have to be active 24/7. You have to be on the ball for your fighters at all time. You have to be ready for the fuckery. You have to compete with all the lies. You have to, you know, deal with the propaganda. Run your own propaganda as well if you have to be honest. And it's a wild business to be in and a wild job to have. But I think Golden Boy are very active in the space. Now, obviously, you have to deliver certain things with your broadcaster. And I think they've had some great shows. So I don't know anything about their deal. We're focused on our deal. We're in a great position. Look, our full intention is to renew with DAZN. We know.
When will that kind of come to fruition?
We are moving forward collectively. We have, you know, of course, we have a lot of options. And listen, so do they. But we feel like they're the best platform for us, and they feel like we're the best promotional company in the world.
I want to put a hypothetical question to you, right? If Sky Sports came to you and said they're going to offer you exactly what DAZN offered you at the time that you came to DAZN, would that entice you into going back to Sky Sports?
No, not necessarily, because where's my global position? What are you offering me with that? UK dates? You know, one of the reasons that I joined DAZN originally was, of course, the financial opportunity for Matchroom and our fighters, but also the ability to promote shows globally on one platform. Previously, the shows would be dissected with territory deals. So when you're doing a show around the world, oh, we're live on Sky Sports, oh, we're on Showtime, oh, we're on Fox in Australia, oh, we might be on DAZN in Germany, oh, we're in Viasat in Scandinavia, you know? And I wanted to have one place for all our content to sit wherever we are in the world. A one-shop destination for the global home of boxing. And we have built, with DAZN, an incredible platform. So the Sky deal, that's the UK element. But, you know, DAZN's have the strength to say, well, this is a global deal. So you can't just pick what market you want to be in with DAZN. If you want to be with DAZN, you will get shows in UK, America, Mexico, Australia, Germany, all the territories that matter. And that's what appeals to me. So, and I don't know Sky Sports' appetite for boxing anymore, if I'm honest. I think the last couple of years, they've been so deflated with the product. I mean, when I left Sky Sports, it was probably the most profitable area of their business in terms of the revenue generated versus the rights fee versus, I mean, like, it was phenomenal. And then it just all completely went to shit. And I think now they're looking at boxing going, yeah, I mean, you've got MVP are talking to Sky, you've got TKO are talking to...
Really, are they?
Well, of course. Everybody's trying to get on every platform they can. But I don't think... And they will do boxing, I have no doubt. But I don't think it'll... I just can't see them investing. They've had the air taken out of them on boxing. And I don't think they have the same passion anymore. You know, Jonathan Licht, who runs Sky, is a really good guy. I don't know if he has the same passion for boxing. I mean, when Barney Francis was there, Barney Francis, you know, although I will always take most of the credit, Barney Francis deserves a huge amount of credit for what happened with boxing on Sky Sports, because he's the one who actually put his balls on the line and said, I've got a hunch with this guy, and this, you know, obviously our reputation was impregnable on Sky Sports. But yeah, we're gonna do this. And actually, Barney's decisions were responsible for the most successful period for boxing ever on Sky Sports. And Jonathan is a brilliant guy as well. I just think, with all the drama and the aggravation and stuff like that, I don't think it's not necessarily also just Jonathan. Obviously, you know, board level and beyond. I just don't know whether they have the appetite for it anymore.
Are you basically then closing the door and saying that you wouldn't be interested in any sort of return to Sky Sports?
I mean, now you're just fishing with silly questions. What I'll tell you is we are fully committed to extending our contract with the Zone. We have had multiple approaches from broadcasters in the UK, in America, and around the world. We are very happy where we are. We don't want to walk away from what we've built together, and we are fully committed for the DAZN business. I believe in it. I think it's a great product, and we look forward to getting everything over the line.
Going back to the schedule, you know, you've got Ghana this weekend, Matchroom's first real show in Africa. You and AJ both kind of as trailblazers for that kind of move to the African market. Is it disappointing that you're both not going to be there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not down to AJ to be there. He's not on the show, and it's just a Matchroom show. But I'm disappointed. I mean, I'm here, so I'm blessed wherever I am. But I would have liked to have been in Ghana for sure, because, you know, when you go to these places, the energy. I'm all about energy, you know, and that kind of energy out there is unmatched. Like when we go to Mexico, when we go to Puerto Rico, even when we go to Australia, those markets where people are actually excited that you're bringing boxing there. I mean, this is on another level, Ghana. Wait till you see the scenes on Saturday night. It'll be wild. And I'm just so excited for like Craig Richards and Dan Aziz, who, you know, I know we don't represent Dan, but what an opportunity. Life's all about creating moments and memories. Those memories, Leo Atang, Nishant Dev, like, they're turning up at the airport. You know, they've got these dancers, they've got the flags, they've got like the culture, everything. That's what life's about. Life's about creating memories and moments where you can sit back and you go, I can't believe I did that. That was incredible. And those guys are getting the opportunity to live that. And that's, you know, going back to Matchroom, that's just another element of what we do for fighters. And, you know, we never take that for granted. We're very lucky.
Hope you don't mind me mentioning this, but you mentioned off camera there when we were speaking about the fact that Christmas this year is a bit different for you with your kids. And I know people probably never really get to see that side of you, but you do work a lot, right? I'll give you that. I know your work ethic's kind of changed over the years, to be fair. It's not as good. But this Christmas is a little bit different. You've got the show in Saudi Arabia that you're promoting. Just talk to us a little bit about what that's meant for you.
You know, look, I got two daughters, obviously 16 and 13, and the 16-year-old, you know, we got a phenomenal relationship. But if I'm not around, she's cool. But obviously this year we have a show on the 27th, and the press conference is on Christmas Day. So it's like trying to manage. Obviously, you never want to not be with your family on Christmas Day, and at the moment I'm kind of flying out, sort of Christmas Day, but more midnight on Christmas Eve. So I think that being away from the kids and your family is like, as long as they know the sacrifices that you're making and the reasons you're making those sacrifices. Like when I grew up, my dad was away all the time. It never affected me because I knew that, that's all I knew. Do you know what I mean? But I saw the sacrifices that he made and I knew how hard he worked. It wasn't like my dad was going down the pub, coming in at 1 o'clock in the morning pissed and like getting up at 11 o'clock the next day. When I grew up, my dad was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to work, coming back, doing a show, coming back, going to work. So I'm looking at him as an inspiration. Now, you got to get the mix right. And obviously this year is very, turning around and saying, look, Christmas is now actually Christmas Eve. Do you know what I mean? And just trying to, like I say, my kids are a bit older now, so it's a little bit easier. But my youngest, it's not easy. But you need to make your children understand what sacrifice looks like and the reasons for it. Everything that I do, the majority of what I do is designed to continue the legacy of what my dad built and also to provide my children with the best opportunity in life. There is also an element of selfishness for me to achieve what I want to achieve. And one thing I will say to people as well is, unfortunately, trying to chase greatness is a bit cringe, but like just success within your industry requires a huge amount of sacrifice. And the reality is, without that sacrifice, and sometimes that selfish sacrifice, you ain't going to get it. So right now, we're in a situation where we've been asked by His Excellency in Riyadh season to promote a number of shows moving forward. It's a massive opportunity. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, nothing's easy. And sometimes you got to just, unfortunately, make decisions that, one day my children will understand. And, they say to me now, which is quite nice, like my youngest sent me a reel the other day saying, it was like, I love you, Dad. You need a break. Don't forget to rest. Like the world's and I thought, choked me up. Like I was just like, because they see what I'm doing, and when I'm traveling a lot, they see on social media, oh my God, he's here. He's in Oakland. He's in Miami. Oh my God, he's in Ghana. He's in Saudi Arabia. Like what? My dad's crazy. And I want them to have the same work ethic as me. I want them to chase their dreams. The worst thing in life is just to go through life with no passion. And just no dream and no fire and no buzz. So I want them to see the buzz that I had. I'm everywhere, and people. I think sometimes, like people will tweet me sometimes and be like, "Are you ever like? Do you ever see your kid?" The answer is yes, and you have to bring that in, and that makes it even harder because when you're absolutely knackered, I've got to fly back for 3 or 4 days and just do loads with them and make sure, and then go again and then go again. It's not like.
It's like that's what you're doing after this. You're literally traveling home for a couple
days. I'll be going home after this. I'll be back for 4 or 5 days. I'll be with them flat out. I'll be, and you'll be making it special for them and give it, So it's, but there's no perfect answer. You can't turn around in life and go, no. Do you know what? I'm going to be the perfect entrepreneur. I'm going to be the perfect father. Do you know what I mean? It's like something's got to give. So you've got to manage it the best way you can. But you've also got to have that relationship where they understand the sacrifice. And I understood the sacrifices that my dad was making. Growing up, I never once, of course, I wanted him around all the time. And, he would be away 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a spin in Asia. And, do you know what I mean? And even then, worse than that, back then we didn't even have any phones. Like, I'm on the FaceTime and Snapchat to my kids every day. To the point where it actually pisses them off. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, hi, Dad, what? I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's been happening today? It's like, I literally spoke to you last night. Yeah, I know. Tell me about you. Like, back then, My dad would go for 3 weeks. I wouldn't even, like, you might get a call on the landline every few days to my mum, and I would go, Dad, how you doing?
It's actually funny you say that, because I know people will never know this, and you probably don't even remember. We were in a car. I forget where we were going, and I think your kids Snapchat called you or whatever it was, and there was some boy in the trampoline. You're like, hold on, who's it? Who's it? Do you remember?
Yeah. Who's that? Get away from my daughter. Yeah. But that's the beauty of technology now. So I know that's not being in their presence, but that's a lot better than actually not having any communication for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So yeah, managing it is and over the last couple of years, I mean, it is easy. Like through their early years, I wasn't travelling like I was, so I was around. I was very hands on, and I was very lucky to get that opportunity. And obviously now they're a bit older. It is, you know, that's. But again, I go back to the selfish, and I am selfish. You have to be selfish. My dad is the most selfish man I've ever met. I'm nowhere near as selfish as my dad. Now, I actually feel bad when I'm away. He never felt bad when he was away from me.
To be fair, he just wanted ready.
Yeah, but I know. But I'll tell you what my dad also did, and I'm the same. When he was back, I know, because I know now being a father, when he was back, he would fly in from, I don't know, China or a snooker tournament out there. He would drop his bags, he would go straight in the garden, he would play cricket with me for 2 hours. Now, at the time, I just felt like that was expected, but I know now, doing what I do, how tough that is, because you are knackered. The last thing you want to do is go down a trampoline park for 3 hours. Do you know what I mean? The last thing you want to do is go to Ninja Warriors in Chelmsford, right? But that's what you have to do. You literally, you meet up, you get back, boom, right, what do you want to do? Let's go out for dinner. Let's go Ninja Warriors. Let's go up the fucking crazy golf. Let's do this. And that's the life. Went a bit longer than expected that bit, but
We're only 5 minutes in though, so we'll get the AJ Jake Paul now. We're here for the most, I'd say, crucified fight ever in terms of coverage. People, you know, are saying this is a fix. People are saying it's going to be scripted. That's my first question to you. What would you say to someone, having been around AJ at close quarters now, that says that this is going to be scripted and he's not going to knock Jake Paul out?
Well, I mean, firstly, the great thing about this fight and this show is it's got nothing to do with me. It's not my idea. It's not my show. We received an offer that was too good to be true, and we accepted it. That's it. So,
can you talk me through that bit first, actually, that bit of the offer coming through, how you got it, what your reaction was, and what AJ's reaction was?
So, we received a phone call maybe 5 months ago from Nikisa saying that AJ wants to fight Jake Paul. Right? I get on all right now with Nikisa and Jake. I mean, we're not besties, but I respect what they do in the space, and all the beef has been squashed. And I felt like I didn't really believe them, if I'm honest. I thought maybe it's just for a little bit of, you know, to say we were having these conversations, and they said maybe it'll be February or March next year, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, look, if you want to do it, really the end of this year is better for us because we kind of got our plans for next year. No, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 weeks later, they announced the Gervonta Davis fight. And I was like, maybe they were just pulling my plonker. They've gone from Anthony Joshua to Gervonta Davis. That fight falls through, and I start to see that across social media, and I think to myself, I'm going to get a phone call here. And all of a sudden, I get a phone call from Nikisa. And I think I picked it up and I said, you're going to tell me Gervonta Davis is out and you want to fight Anthony Joshua? And he went, yeah. And I went, okay. Now, originally it was to actually go on the same date. And this came about 2.5 weeks or so, I think, before. So luckily AJ was already in camp. As you know, he was supposed to fight on the November 22nd card. Just randomly turn up on the night and fight Cassius Chaney over 8 rounds. And then eventually Netflix said, look, we'd rather go on this date. We negotiated the money. I then had to go to DAZN and make sure they were happy. Then I wanted to go to His Excellency, even though we didn't have a contract with him, and just make sure he was happy. Then we reached the number, which was a great opportunity for AJ. And then we're into the fight. That's how it all unfolded.
And in terms of people who would say this is scripted, your response?
I mean, so many people think it's scripted. I don't really know what to tell you. We would never take part in a scripted fight. I think it's the most cringe. Listen, if you want to retire and go on the WWE or whatever, and I mean that's fine. Like, we're not wasting our time here. We're not going in there. There is no part of Anthony Joshua that wants to or will take it easy on Jake Paul or be scripted. This is a real professional contest that AJ has trained for, like he's fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship. Have you seen the shape of him? He's in the absolute shape of his career. In fact, this weight clause has been the best thing that ever happened to AJ. When I was with him 3-4 months, he was heavy, and he was too heavy in my opinion. Now he's got to come in under 245 pounds. He looks absolutely fantastic. So we're going out there to do a job. Now, the stuff about like, oh, if it's not over in the first round, it's a joke, blah, blah, blah. Look, Jake knows what he's doing. Is he world class? No. But he can look after himself. Now, can he look after himself against Anthony Joshua? No. Is this a mismatch? In my opinion, absolutely. Like, I have to respect Jake for taking a challenge, and I honestly believe that in Jake Paul's head, he thinks he can win this fight. I know that the people around him are very concerned about him taking this fight. But you can manifest it and you can see it, but it don't matter if you're not good enough. And I'm a believer in being deluded. I'm a believer in manifestation. I'm a believer in talking it into existence. But if you're not good enough, it just doesn't happen. That's a bit like me looking out there now going, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to swim over to downtown Miami. Yeah, I can see it over there. Right, see the current? Right? Yeah, I can see it. Hold on, let me manifest it. Yeah, oh, Eddie, you're unbelievable. You're ripped to shreds. You can do it. You can do anything. Dive in. I'll fucking be down there somewhere by the Keys in half an hour, floating around. Like, you can't, life. Like, again, I admire and I respect everything MVP do in boxing. I really do. But I know even Nikisa knows this is a terrible decision they've made here. And actually, Jake Paul has to be lucky not to get hurt. Like, the best case scenario for Jake is he gets a 60% shot round the side of the head, the legs go, he can't fight, and the ref calls it off. That's the best case scenario. Now, the worst case scenario is not, it ain't going to be pretty. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit scared for Jake Paul. I don't want him to get hurt. But this is the fight game, and you chose this. So the responsibility is on you. You made us an offer, we accept. You wanted this fight, you called this fight on. All respect for you. And listen, I think he's improved a hell of a lot. I was watching him, and I know he's hitting the pads last night. He has worked very hard on himself as a fighter, and he is a fighter now. Forget the YouTube stuff. I thought his interview the other day was really good. I'm all of that. I'm a YouTuber. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a fighter. And actually, I really agree with what he says about don't put me in a box, right? Because I feel a bit like that sometimes on a smaller level because he's mega. But I'm like, I'm not just a boxing promoter. Movie star, international model, recording artist. They're all the things that, a few of them are a joke, but there is a lot of my delusion. I'm deluded as well. I actually think I can go and do those things. But the problem is, again, you can manifest it, but you just ain't good enough. Like the model bit is fine, but the recording artist and the movie, probably not. But in my mind, how we always joke about like James Bond and stuff like that. I truly believe I would be the best James Bond that's ever lived. But that's delusion, Colm. You've got to have it. But the reality is, it's not going in there with a monster and having the biggest punches you've ever seen or felt right chin and the side of your head and your ribs. That's the danger of this fight. And there's an element of this fight where people are tuning in for that danger. It's David Blaine, right? It's Evel Knievel. It's all of those things where you are tuning in to watch something that could go wrong.
I want to talk to you about the actual contract. When that came through, and firstly you seen the weight stipulation for a heavyweight fight saying that he can't weigh above 245 pounds, I think it is. What was your reaction to that?
As I said to AJ, what do you expect? You can't expect just to have your own, we're at such a massive advantage for this fight. It is a disadvantage having to lose all that weight and to come in at a weight that you wouldn't actually fight at if you wanted to. Do you know what I mean? But it's actually worked well for him. He looks phenomenal. He's moving so well. He's faster than ever. So it's actually been a little bit of a blessing. But if you follow him on social media, particularly Snapchat, you'll see he's weighing every morning. So that is a little bit like the focus can go on your weight rather than your preparation. Not for AJ. Like, all I can tell you is this. He is flying. Shape of his life. He's absolutely loving the camp with the Usyk training team. I've met him all last night. Great bunch. And I spoke to him last night, and he said to me, I'm going to do a job on him. But he wants to do a job on him. And we haven't even had the press conference yet, or the weigh-in. And Jake, sometimes can be a little bit friendly. If he starts talking all this stuff, you got no chin, you got two left, that sits in AJ's head, and he'll smile and he'll high five Jake, and he'll do that, and he'll also be looking at him going, you'll pay on Friday night.
Was there anything in that contract, whenever it came from them at the beginning, that you and AJ said no to?
No. The only thing that had to be negotiated was little things like credentials and flight. It was really straightforward. Once we knew it was a 8-round professional fight, 10-ounce gloves, 245 pounds, done. We're the B-side, no problem. We'll walk first, no problem. I've said in interviews, if they would have said to us in the contract, you have to ring walk the night before and sleep in the ring, in a tent, I would have told AJ to do it, and I would have gone in a tent with him. Fuck that. What do you expect? This is what I said to AJ about the weight. And he was fine with it anyway. But it was originally they actually wanted 240 pounds. That was the first conversation. But because of the time and because of what he weighed, I just said, it's 245. And then they agreed it. But that was it. Again, I don't want to keep going on about it. It's illegal to have any... This is a professional boxing contest that is sanctioned by the Florida State Athletic Commission. It is a federal offence to have a script or play out, and there's people are betting on this. Do you know what I mean? There is absolutely no script. There is absolutely no intention or desire to hold him up, to let him survive. The only intention is to go in there and doing a complete demolition job on him.
There's been reports that the ring size is going to be 24 foot, which would be obviously huge. Can you confirm or deny that?
22 foot. The ring, forget the ring size, it's always the measurement inside the ropes. The contractual position is 22 foot inside the ropes.
Do you think that benefits Jake Paul in any way?
No, not really. AJ loves a 22 foot ring. Don't forget, that's kind of like Olympic size. So everything up at GB, that's what he's always grown up on. Every show that we do, we have a 20 foot ring. It's 22 foot. It's not honestly, it could be a 60 foot ring. It doesn't really matter. I mean, ultimately, it may take a round or two, maybe 3 to get hold of him. And it all depends what Jake Paul does. We were discussing it earlier. Now, if he comes out with ambition, he'll be going to sleep very quickly. If he comes to survive, he's good enough. He can cover up. He can move. His movement's actually quite decent. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 rounds. But
in your honest opinion, how do you see this playing out as that bell rings?
It depends. I believe Jake Paul will come out. He will think to himself, what the fuck is this absolute monster doing in the ring with me? He will box very defensively. He will try and survive, and then sooner or later, AJ, if you make a mistake against Anthony Joshua, you will go to sleep instantly, like Francis Ngannou. And once Jake Paul throws, when Jake Paul throws anything, he is going to get countered with speed he has never seen before. And when he gets hit clean on the chin, he will be out cold immediately, clean on the chin. Now, as I said, the best case scenario for Jake is that it's half clean. Do you know what I mean? I've got to tell you, if Anthony Joshua hits Jake Paul to the body, he will shatter the entire ribcage of Jake Paul. And I hope it's not body, because the crowd won't understand body. Do you know what I mean? Like, they could be in a clinch, whoom, up the guts, and it'll shatter his ribs. He'll go down, he won't be able to get up, but the crowd will boo because they're like, what, get up? Like, this is actually, although there is pressure on AJ, here, but there's also pressure on Jake Paul, because you can't take one round the side of the head and kind of stumble over and then get up and then the ref calls it off and everyone's booing because it looks ridiculous on him. Do you know what I mean? So you almost want to go out on your shield, but going out on your shield is so dangerous. So look, I really respect, and listen, he's making a lot of money, and of course that's part of the decision, but he's actually up for the challenge, and I respect what he does. I respect his preparation. He has improved a lot, but he's in way, way, way too deep here.
Do you have a message for Jake Paul? I know you aren't close, you're not friends.
Good luck. Respect. Nikisa, everybody. Look, I think what they're doing in boxing is fantastic. I do feel that in spots like, and I know Nikisa didn't want this fight. Nikisa's not silly. Nikisa's not wrapped up with the hype of the team and you can do, yeah, he lost to Dubois, yeah, you got like it. Sometimes you have to just have someone around you to say, mate, this ain't a good idea. But Jake's Jake, and Jake's a maverick, and Jake's his own guy, and he's, and I respect, I truly, like, he's in here to compete, and you have to respect that. He ain't going in there going, no, you know what I'll do? I'll go in there, and when I take a shot, or I'll go over and I'll just take my money. No, he's coming to win, and that might be the worst thing he could ever do.
Can you look down that lens and tell him how your man is going to beat him on Friday night?
No, because that's the most cringe thing I've ever seen, and it's not my show. What I'll say is, good luck. The whole world is watching, and listen, may everybody come out of the ring safely, and God bless to everyone.
Terence Crawford yesterday announced his retirement from boxing. What do you make of that decision?
I like it. I think that Terence is just one of the greatest fighters of our generation. Phenomenal talent that could have beaten so many more fighters of our generation if he would have got those fights and if he would have been able to been in more mega fights. But he's, what is he, 39, 38? Yeah, and listen, he could have, sometimes you never know if this is a tactical play to draw out more money and to come back. I don't know Terence well enough. I don't think so, but yeah, I think the video he did was pretty cool. Like, walking away on your own terms is always great. When you're at the top, like walking away when you've been beaten a few times, it kind of it's not the same vibe. And I think leaving at the top is a really cool thing to do. Do you know what I mean?
Would you have promoted him differently?
Yeah, I would have built him into a megastar. He kind of got there at the end, but he deserved to get there a lot sooner. He doesn't really care about things like Terence was always going. He says, "I did things my way," blah blah blah. I just feel like when he was coming through, he wasn't the star that he should have been. And I always, sometimes I debate with him about his best wins, and he always says that his best wins is Ricky Burns. And if you look at his resume, he didn't have the big names. I see the beef with him and Oscar De La Hoya, like going backwards and forwards. Oscar said, you only had 2 good wins, blah, blah, blah. Like, Terence had a lot of good wins, but he never really got the fights consistently that he deserved, and he would have won those fights because he was that good. But he's still a like, you can put him in the conversations, in my opinion, with Floyd, with Leonard, with all those guys. He could compete against all of those guys.
Could you see a situation where he has retired now, right? But him and Floyd Mayweather come together to do this mega super fight, who's all goes type of situation?
I don't like the fights where there's someone who's like, what's Floyd now? Coming up to 50? I just, I like Prime v Prime. Tio against Shakur. Boots against Ortiz. You understand what I'm saying? Bam against Inoue. I like guys that are not shot. I know Floyd's not shot, but like he's 50 years old nearly. So let's just as fight fans, let's just appreciate Floyd Mayweather, appreciate Terence Crawford, and know that if they would have met in their prime, what a fight it would have been.
You mentioned Boots and
How long
Ortiz.
has it been?
It's only 15 minutes.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned Boots and Ortiz. Have you seen Rick Marigian's post?
I mean, that's the wildest thing I've ever seen.
What do you make of his?
I mean, what his strategy is? I mean, I think he's a lunatic. Like, I respect Rick Marigian's passion, and I like the guy, but I've got to be honest. You got to think about what you're writing. Now, if he don't care, if his client is happy for him to put that out there, like the ramifications that has on relationships, and even how that looks for Golden Boy, like how the Zone feel about. Like, let's just make one thing clear: the Zone are absolutely insistent that Jaron Ennis fights Virgil Ortiz next, and so they fucking should be. They've paid the money. They've supported Jaron Ennis to fight Lima, to fight Stanionis, to fight Chudazian, to fight Avanesyan. They've paid him great money. They've paid Virgil Ortiz great money to fight Lubin and McKinson and Kavalauskas. Did he fight him? Like, they're saying, guys, enough's enough. Give the world the greatest fight out there. Now, listen, the terms have got to be right for you. I get that. But I know the pressure that we were under. But it was easy for me because Boots signed up to the terms that we agreed with Golden Boy and the Zone in a room. And Virgil Ortiz won't. So Virgil Ortiz, I mean, he won't say he's pricing himself out, but the reality is the offers are the same for both fighters. And Boots is in. He's signed. So Rick Meridian feels that Virgil Ortiz is worth so much more money than this, blah, 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 blah. But we're in for the same terms. So what are we, mugs? I mean, like, we want to show and prove greatness. And I know that Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, they want to make the best fights. We can create, in my opinion, the best fight in American boxing.
Do you think it doesn't happen though?
Right now, I don't. Right now, we have been told by DAZN, forget Virgil Ortiz. Let's look at other options.
What are those other options then?
Well, you got obviously all the champions, but some of them are fighting early. So Xander Zayas is fighting. That's in January. We can fight in April. You got Josh Kelly's fighting Mertz Alive in January. They're an option, but we want Ortiz because he's the best, and that's the best fight. And all this stuff. You know, what makes me laugh is, oh, yeah, Boots is ducking Ortiz, but bullshit. We've signed. So you know, it makes me start to think that Virgil Ortiz and that close team don't want the fight. Does Golden Boy want the fight? Yes, I believe they do. And I know that the pressure they're under from DAZN, because we're under the same pressure. But we're in, so we're sweet. Do you know what I mean? So it's really frustrating. And when you see that from Rick Meridian, like, sometimes you've got to just breathe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to breathe. And I don't mean this disrespectfully, but you got to stay in your lane. You got to let Oscar, Golden Boy, do their job, right, of which we're talking, right? They've got to talk to their fighter, but to come out and blow it up like that, it's just a bad look. And it you know, but Rick's Rick, and again, respect, listen, he's a passionate guy, and I love the passion.
Would you not say that he's actually doing a good job for his fighter, getting the most possible money out of a mega fight like this?
Because it comes to a point where it's like you're airing too much publicly. And I'm not saying that we need to keep things quiet and under wraps. I'm just saying, like, I read that and I was like, mate, what are you doing?
Did you reach out to him?
No. But it got sent around by the group, all going, fuck me, have you seen this? And everyone doing a hand palm emoji. But that's Rick. Like, and again, Rick slates me sometimes, but he also says I'm the best promoter out there, and I think he's a very good manager. But you got to stake them. You got to be cold with emotion, yeah. Like, And that's what I've learned over the years. There's loads of times where I've wanted to post stuff or just go, just breathe. It'll take a few minutes, and then it'll calm down, and you'll get switched back on to the plan.
Right, last one. This has been a 15-minute interview. We'll might get to 20 here. No, we might get here to 20 minutes. Last question. Sky Nicholson was on Ariel Helwani yesterday. There's been reports. No, I don't think it's been confirmed that Erica Cruz has failed a pre-fight FATA test. That would put the Serrano Cruz fight in jeopardy. Sky's just coming off a great win and feels like she's ready for that. Have you had discussions with MVP on that?
Only that I said to Nikisa, Elif Turhan, and Sky Nicholson would both be ready to step in.
What did they respond?
I think they're kind of just obviously they're dealing with this week. I don't want to say this is not Amanda Serrano's turned down Elif and Sky Nicholson. No, I just said to them, look, Sky Nicholson ready to go. Just boxed at 122 pounds. The fight is at 126 or whatever you want it to be. She's ready to fight. Elif Turhan, she boxed at 135, but she's actually a 130 pounder. She'll come down at the weight to fight as well. So I don't look. Both of those fights for Amanda Serrano are very, very tough, and they're not fights you just jump into, and it's not like we're not calling her out. I'm just saying they are both available if you want a great fight in Puerto Rico. That's it.
Right. Before I let you go, and you might say no to this, but I would hope that you wouldn't because it's for a very good cause. We're getting everyone in boxing at IFL that we interview. No, we're not. It's not.
Okay. What?
Okay. Just to do a little quick verse of a Christmas carol or a Christmas song that they like. Everyone has done it. Frank Warren's done it. No. I'm not joking. I'm not
an idiot.
This isn't the joke.
I'll do it anyway because I know
you will, but it isn't. I'm not joking.
Christmas songs.
There has to be a Christmas song or carol that you know a verse to that you could sing.
Can I just Google it?
Yeah, you can Google one of your choice. That's fine. But I did have you down as a Christmas song kind of guy, like a Michael Bublé Christmas kind of album. No, really cut off there. The Christmas carol to sing us out.
Yeah, but just to let you know, so because you like doing your wind-ups, yeah, I know no one else has done this because Matt Lenahan over there goes, oh yeah, Shalom's got a really good voice. His was brilliant, like as if Shalom would sing you a Christmas carol. You said Frank Warren's done it. Don't believe you, but I will do it anyway, just for banter. We're going to go, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Just the first verse, okay? It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Love you guys.
Eddie Hearn, thank you so much, mate.